Millennials have adapted to the use of social media and digital communication in ways to communicate upon their friends, family, and even strangers. Though this generation is far advanced in technology, the persistent use of online communication has caused a struggle with face-to-face communication, causing lack of social skills. In conducting a survey, 36.9% use social media to communicate to others, while 56.9% are not a part of any social groups.
My name is Dr. Jennifer McGee. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I'm a counselor here at the Mindspring Center. Social skills are the skills that enable us to interact with other people. For the younger population, it can include emotional regulation, how to handle frustration, how to read body language, working with a group, how to interact with certain activities, compromising. Those are some examples. One of the benefits that I see of a social skills group is building confidence, because they're using those skills in a group of same age peers. If they feel confident using those skills here, they're more likely to generalize it in the community.
Though the use of social media can have a positive aspect, it can also pose as a negative influence. With the millennial generation being the primary ones to use such technology, it has affected the quality of interactions and changed the relationships that people have in person.
I've been at a few dinners where everybody is on their phone, so at that time I was one of those people, so it wasn't really that awkward because everybody was on their phones, but I've been trying not to use my phone as much as I usually do. I think it does affect our communication because most of our communication is usually through person to person and speaking, and so we're always on our devices, then we're not speaking to each other. And so some people, they're on their devices so much that they don't even know how to really communicate to people in person, and that's a problem.
When texting and using email, one can think on it before having to respond, allowing for the acceptance of social gaps in conversations and giving the chance of withholding the truth.
You can easily lose a student because they're more focused on the cell phone and what's in front of them more than what's on the board or what the teacher's talking about or what we as school counselors have to talk about. So I kind of make sure that my students, whoever comes to for guidance, I make sure that everything is put away so we can have a true conversation, so I can kind of really understand what's really going on. Sometimes they can use that cell phone as a cover-up or a mask for them to not actually have to talk about or deal with the real truth.
A previous study from Medell and Munster revealed that young people tend to like using communication through media because it gives them more control over their interaction.
Really just trying to be seen over the internet, and then when in person, most people don't really speak, don't say nothing, don't care to put their input on anything. They can walk past you like they don't know you, but on the internet you can comment on anything you want because it's not in person. They feel more comfortable because nobody's there to confront them head on, face-to-face confrontation. Going out to eat with a group of friends instead of, communicating, talking amongst each other, we're all on our phone, all into social media, catching up with the latest tea and the latest drama.
The millennial generation has become a generation to interact more through the use of technology versus the older generation who value face-to-face communication, where body language and nonverbal cues are important.
When I was growing up, we had beepers, the rotary phone, and that's about all. We did have cell phones, but it was those big old clunky things in the bag. Now you have all different kinds of cell phones, Androids, iPhones, so computers. So it's changed a lot. The older generation knew how to sit down and talk and have a conversation and have fun. Younger generation, they like to jive, but they do it when they're under communication. It's okay because they don't see that other person. But sitting across from a person, they don't know how to communicate because nobody has ever taught them how to do that because there's so much technology.
Millennials have well-advanced technology-based skills, and though they portray this, it does not mean they have sufficient communication skills. How do we change this? we can start by going back to valuing effective communication and reiterating its foundation, such as how Mrs. Johnson of Glen Hills Middle School demonstrates in her classroom.
We actually have four-way communications. By this being the English language arts, we have communication with speaking and listening, reading and writing. So it's 4 ways we communicate. We have what we call accountable talk, whereas one person talk at a time, and if you have something to say, you do accountable talk, such as I hear what you're saying, but could you clarify this particular point, or I agree with what you're saying, or to piggyback on what you're saying, or to add on what you're saying.
As technology advances, the millennial generation will become more affected by it. If such communication primarily through media and devices continues to become the norm, the value of face-to-face communication will become more of a struggle due to the lack of nonverbal cues that are not present because of CMC, computer mediated communication. Lacking the communication skills affects social interactions, and with the millennial generation being so involved in online communication, the communication gap will continue to grow that may cause other generations that will come after to also be affected. After collecting knowledge and researching this subject matter, I hope one will be informed in hopes of getting back to enjoying life outside the media.